Hello, everyone. Welcome. We haven't done one of our lives in a couple of months. We took a little break over the month of July. So I'm so excited to be back here with everyone. I'm Jenny Ponzuric. I have been in the field of school psychology for over 20 years, and I am the founder of the Prepared School Psychology community as well as PSW Monthly. And we are doing a super quick chat with 3 quick tips to kick off your school year. Some of you have already been back. Some of you have already started testing students. Some of you just started back. No students yet on campus. And some of you are like, what do you mean? I'm still on summer break. So wherever you're at, you're either going to check in and feel super validated that you've already done these tips or something fun to add to your list. So let's go through our 3 quick tips to kick off our school year. Now, the first tip I have for you is a reflection question. I do love a good reflection question. And my question is, what did you procrastinate last year? If you're someone like me, you might have procrastinated some report writing. You might be someone who puts off observing students to the last minute. You could be someone who puts off reviewing records to the last minute, or calling a parent, or any of those fun parts of our wonderful world. So I am going to encourage you, whatever that main thing that you were like super awesome at procrastinating last year, like you could almost win an award because you procrastinated so well. I'm going to encourage you to put that on your calendar right now. Right now. If you're someone like me who has procrastinated report writing, I'm going to encourage you right now to go put some time in your calendar for report writing. If you are someone who waits till, day 59 of the timeline to do a student observation, I'd encourage you to go on your calendar right now and decide what day of the week are you going to be doing student observations so that we don't get into that same spot, right? So tip number 1, think about what you procrastinated about and go put that on your calendar right now. Tip number 2, do not be afraid to ask questions. Now, if you are newer to this field, which I think nowadays most people feel like your first 5 years as a school psychologist, probably still feel very comfortable calling yourself new to the field, wherever you feel like you are. If you're newer, you're supposed to be asking questions. There's no way we're supposed to know everything. And you might be starting in a new school. You might have new team members. You might be in a brand new district. There's a lot of different news that happened, new things that can happen in a school year. So ask lots of questions. Ask questions. This is what I do because I'm not connected to one specific school district or one specific school. So I come out and help out kind of wherever I'm needed. I ask questions all the time. Things like, who does this for this team? Who takes notes during meeting? Am I taking notes during meeting? Is someone else doing that? Right? If you're new to your situation, you may even ask, can I sit in on someone else's meeting? I just want to watch one. Right? I will never forget my very first year as a school psychologist, probably my first couple of days there. A veteran school psych came up to me and said, would you like to attend an IEP meeting with me so you can see how we can do them here? And I was like, oh my goodness, yes, thank you. I'm used to doing IEP meetings the way that district did them. I was so thankful. And so I think that's a wonderful thing. Don't go into like the most interesting meeting in the world. Just go and sit down on a regular meeting just so we can see what they're like, right? So you can see how things flow with this group. For a veteran psychs, I don't know about all of you. This is always my favorite question. Am I doing this right? I felt like every once in a while, it's just kind of dependent on what we're talking about. Are we talking about behavior? Are we talking about evaluation? Are we talking about counseling? Like, are we doing all these things right? So whether you want to go ask your favorite trusted colleague, right? I'm thinking of a couple in my head right now of those people that I just immediately go to where I'm just like, this is how I do this. Am I doing this right? Maybe you want to bring it up at a staff meeting. Are we doing this right as a group? Is there anything else that we're supposed to be doing, right? Did anything change over the summer? Any expectations or anything like that? It's okay to ask questions. So number one, reflect on what you procrastinated and go put that on your calendar right now. Number two, definitely ask some questions. Definitely ask some questions. And number three is definitely connect with your team. Right? This is usually the time, if you're just going back a lot of times in a lot of district school psychologists, kind of going back, maybe admin starting first, and then you come back, and then the teachers start coming back, and then finally the students are there. So whenever it's right, definitely connect with your team. And here we're going to ask some good questions again, right? If you're new to your team or you have new team members, right? What's something that went really well last year as part of this team? If I'm walking in new, like what's something that works really well over here? Because I don't want to like try and tear that down right away, right? Are there any systems that weren't working as well as we think they could be? Right? Just kind of walk in with some open-ended questions like that, right? And if you're coming back to your same team, number one, high five, especially if you have a good team, because it always feels good to go back and you're like, we already know how we all work together. But again, I think we can ask some very similar questions. Where are we doing things really well as a team? Maybe it's in regards to pre-referral interventions. Maybe it's to running our IEP meetings. Whether it's we're really great at communication amongst, one another before meetings. And then again, are there any systems between team members that need some improvement? Is there anything that we want to bring up that we can just go ahead and kind of talk about some different ways to try things out? And this, of course, is going to depend on the safety of your team and how comfortable everyone is. Sometimes these are super nice questions to just open up with the whole team. And sometimes we need to do this with an anonymous Google form so everyone feels comfortable, right? For some of these, we might want to invite our admin in if they're a central part of all of our processes and all of our systems, right? So 3 quick tips. Figure out what you procrastinated on last year. Go figure out those things right now. Go put them on your calendar. Number 2, do not be afraid to ask questions, especially at the beginning of the year, whether you are new to that school or whether you are coming back. Excuse me. And then really make sure we're connecting with our teams, right? We're getting to know one another. We're asking all those good questions about what fun thing did you get to do over the summer. But then also kind of asking some reflection questions as well. What's working really well, and is there anything else that we need to be doing as a team, excuse me, that might need some improvement? So those are my quick tips for you to kick off this school year. I hope everyone is having a great start, and good luck with everything. I will see you all soon.